Hi, welcome to Craft Little Things. I'm Andrea, and today I'm going to show you how to make this gorgeous little tea caddy inspired box using the Tea Together stamp set and also a sentiment from part of my story stamp set, which is a fabulous stamp set. I'm using Berry Burst cardstock and I'm using a thick white cardstock, which the Berry Burst is from Stampin Up. The thick white is from Hunky Dory. I just think it's lovely, strong, crisp white cardstock, and that's what I wanted. However, I have also used Mirri board, that's from Hunky Dory as well, but I've used Whisper White to make myself a DSP. I'm going to insert a little link here because the DSP is so pretty and I really enjoyed making it. I used the flower stamp from the Tea Together, this stamp here, and one of the little leaves and this little bud stamp, and I heat embossed it with silver, and then I used an aqua blender and I used lovely lipstick ink, and I just coloured in the flowers and mint macaron with the leaves, which were stamped straight on. These were stamped straight on in lovely lipstick. These were stamped on in mint macaron. But I'll, I mean, I don't even know if the picture does it justice, but I will insert a clip of me making that so that you can see how that was done. Okay, so we're back now. I don't know if that was my extra piece or a piece from here. But anyway, so I'll give you some measurements. There's a lot of pieces here. For the sides of the box, I'm using Berry Burst, and I've got two pieces here which measure 5.5 by 8 1/4. I wanted to make them out of one piece. Wanted to make this out of one piece of A4, so that's why it's 8 1/4. So that just gives us a little sort of 1/4 of an inch to glue things together, but I think that'll be fine. And then what you want to do with this is you want to score it at 4.5. Sorry, you want to score it at, on the long side, you want to score it at 4 and 8, and on the short side you want to score it at 1.5. Okay, and you want two pieces of that. Okay. Then for the lid, you need a piece that measures 7 by 7, and you just want to score it at 1.5 inches on all sides, but pull it away from the edge a 1/16 of an inch so that it fits over the top. Okay. And I've used white for that one. Then for the little base that I've made, I've used two pieces that measure 8 by 2 inches, and again I've got two pieces of those, and what I've done is on the short side I've scored it at 1, and on the long side I've scored it at 3.5 and 7. 3.5 and 7. That's two pieces and they're done exactly the same. Then for decorating our box up, I've got 5 pieces of silver mirror card, and they measure 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. And then I've got 5 pieces of the DSP, which measure 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. You don't have to make your DSP. You can buy some or use some that's ready made. Then for the little plinth, we've got 4 pieces of silver, which measure 7/8 of an inch by 3 3/8. Okay, 7/8, and we've got 4 of those. And then we've got 4 pieces for round the top of the lid, which measure 1 inch by 3 7/8. Okay, and then for the little topper, I've used the scallop square to cut out silver Mirri, which is 2 3/4 square, and then I've used the stitch shape framelit to cut out white, which is 2 inches square, and I've actually used lovely lipstick ink, same as this one, to stamp out that sentiment, which is from the Part of My Story stamp set. Okay, so we'll start assembling then. First of all, I've got to burnish on the score line, so I'm going to do the little plinth bit first. So what we need to do is we need to cut away the top piece on each end. There's 2 little squares on each end. Cut away the top one. I mean, they're both the same, so top, bottom, whatever. So that when we fasten it together, that top bit isn't going to be sort of encumbered, if you like. And then we need to just cut down. If this is the top, then we use this as the top, and we just cut down that, and then we're just going to notch in those flaps just to get a nice tidy finish. Okay, so if this is where we've cut away our square, then this is where we cut down, and then we cut in some flaps just to make it nice and tidy. Okay, so then what we want to do is we want to glue this together and let it set, so let it dry. So I'm just going to pop some glue on there, line that up really nice and straight. This is why I don't notch in the flap, these end flaps, because if I did, I'd find it a little bit harder to marry them up to the other side and keep them flush. So there we go. Just going to press those down with a bit of bone folder. Press from the inside if you're worried working with white that you're going to get things grufty. And then these are all just going to fold down, and we're going to glue those and stick them to the bottom of the box. Okay. Now for the lid, just going to burnish the score lines. Make sure when you're working with white, just make sure that all your utensils are really clean, that your hands are clean, that your work surface is clean, so you don't get anything grubby. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up the bottom right score line up to the first horizontal. And I am going to notch these in just to get rid of some bulk on the edges there. I'm just going to cut these in quite sharply on one side there. And then a little bit more shallow on the outside. Just to get rid of some bulk, but to keep my shape. And now, before I do anything else, I'm going to glue my edges on to this. Keep them nice and central. And again, try not to get glue everywhere. although it is easier to polish it off silver card. And then we'll just pop some glue on these tabs. There's nothing rocket science about this. I never make really, well, for most people they won't be very complicated, but for me sometimes they are. And just get all your edges, get them all nice and square, press them together. You can always go over and give them a good pressing down once they've taken. You've got your basic shape. There we go. I'll give them a little gentle press first because of that sliding business. Don't want things sliding. And there's the lid. I'll just pop that to one side to dry. That looks absolutely good. I just need to burnish the score lines for the box itself. And what we want to do is just, excuse the puppets barking, is just cut away this little slither here. Cut a little, tiny little notch in, and then cut away that little piece there. I'm going to notch in just a tiny bit. Do the same to both sides. And then just put some glue on these little flaps and stick them together. I'm only going to do one for now because I'm going to put all my sides on. Now you'll notice that these won't reach right across. They nearly do, but not quite. And this leaves a gap in there as well. So what I'm going to do, I forgot to tell you about, is I have a square of white card that I stick on there, and that helps me to get this straight as well. Yeah, so I've got a piece of white that measures 3 by 3 and a piece of Berry Burst which measures 3.5 by 3.5 to go on the inside, just make it look nice. Okay, so I'll just pop those to the side. So yeah, so when we put our box together, it's going to be like that, and then it's going to sit on top of this plinth like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some I forgot to put my mirror board onto here, and so we have this set up like this. And then how our little white piece helps us is we can just glue around the edges of it, and we can just pop that, whoops, press that down and just pop that in, and that'll just keep our box square. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick my DSP onto my Mirri using Tombow. Onto here. Fold it over. it up. Puppy's all crying. And then pop this down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue just on these side pieces here. I'm going to press down, and then I'm just going to glue this panel to pop it in the bottom. And then I'm just going to get some dimensionals, and I'm going to attach both of these layers with them. Get a Mirri burst ribbon, and I'm going to tie it in a big bow around the plinth. I'm just going to put one on the front. Do you ever think, oh, I can't do anything different now because I've committed to this? You can change the design anytime you see fit. I'm going to pop that on there because I think it looks nice. Especially for the front. I mean, you might want to put it on every side, but it looks nice on the front. Look at that. Just makes a massive difference. I think that's it. It's a gorgeous big box. So there you go. And thanks for joining me. And you've got a massive 4x4x4 capacity in there. So like I say, you could put, I'm going to put like tea pyramids and lovely biscuits in there. Homemade biscuits. Maybe some homemade toffees as well. It's lovely for a Mother's Day gift. It's just so pretty. Love it. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.